So, ladies and gentlemen, you have asked the questions, and I'm gonna try and answer them to my best capability. I have my lovely settee with me here. There should be a bigger one here soon, and yeah, let's get on with it.
First question from Matt Bowman. Would you test ride a 125, for example, a YZF R125 or an NT125?
I actually want to test ride 125s. I feel that it would be more of a service that someone who spent 9 years on a 125 can probably give you an honest opinion on that bike. So yeah, there is some stuff coming up in the next couple of months. Hopefully you'll find pretty much interesting. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Keith Wong asks, would you prefer the Grom or the XT?
The Grom or the XT? As much as I love the XT, no, sorry, actually, scratch that. As much as I love the Grom, if they did it in a bigger engine size, maybe something in the 400 to 500 category, I would say the Grom. But at the minute, not having that bigger bike with the capability of overtaking anything, it's the XT that's going to stay.
Ginger Moto Vlogs, would you rather be the famous author of Twilight or the famous writer of every Nickelback song?
My views on Twilight probably have to go with Nickelback. Twilight is not a vampire movie. It's just not a vampire movie.
Moto Tingle, now you have experienced what it's like to be motorcycleless. Do you promise to lovingly lavish lots of TLC on your XT from this day forward, or thrash it into the ground?
I wish I could really tell you the truth on that, but given the last video where I've asked break in heavy or light, it probably lasts for about a week of me taking it easy, and then it will be back to normal service. So I'd have to pick thrash it into the wall or floor or whatever else I hit in the process.
Nathan McCurlin asks if you can list the bikes that you bring.
This is going to be embarrassing. I was a scooter boy. I started off as a scooter boy. I had a Peugeot Speedfight 100cc. I then went to a Sayamoto Geeko, which was the biggest lump of Chinese fodder that came out of the country. It's a 125. I had a VT 125 Honda Shadow. I had a XT 125X and the Grom, and this isn't mine but I've ridden it, and the XT 660X.
Captain Cranky asks, how often do you clean or lube your chain?
Rarely. And it's because I run a Scott oiler system. I know you're meant to clean the chain and you're meant to do all that waffle, but I'm lazy, and as I ride all year round, chains are an expense that I budget for. So if it dies in 6 months, it gets changed. If it dies in 2 years, it gets changed. I just buy a fancier one if it dies in 2 years.
Pinky Diddley,
Ugh.
do you think motorbikes should run off Magic or Dragonfire, as it would probably help on the oil problem?
I'd say Dragonfire, because mine actually did well for the lack of oil that was actually in it. The problem that arose was not oil related, it was mileage related. But I would say that the oil did have a factor in it, and yeah, I'd go Dragon's Fire.
Metalhead asked 2 questions. The first one, how much longer is your welcome to my blog intro going to get?
As long as I want it to be. It's just because you don't have one and I do, and mine's better, I think, personally.
Second question, who's the best motovlogger that you've met?
Best moto vlogger I have met. No. In a close second place would be Smo. First place would have to go joint first place with Dutch Rudder and Weem. I'd have to beat them two instead of one. Smo is second, so it's a fair trade-off.
Okay, Cam Biker, how's your leg after the injury caused by the impromptu stage dive?
Some people may think that I have ties to a certain rock band, and I broke my leg last year, and it is true what to say, money does fix things way quicker, and it's fine now, I can walk.
Ben Laurie fan, who is your favourite rider at the road races?
Oh, this one's going to make me lose subs. I can dispel one myth straight away. None of the Dunlops. None of them. Favourite riders, Dan Neen, probably not saying it right. Close second would have to be Gareth Evans Racing, and in third would have to be Ian Hudson. No, I forgot. Lee Johnson, who sadly didn't actually race this year because he came off and broke his collarbone. So 3 instead of 1.
I don't know if I'm going to say this right. Tagod, can you say some words in French?
Je m'appelle. Bonjour. Crepe. That's about the height of it. Sorry, I don't speak French.
Dazzle Rebel rides. If you could ride any road in the world next week, what and where would that road be, and what bike would you use?
Road of Bones in Russia on, I was going to say a Grom, but it'd probably kill it. XT 1200 Z, the Super Tenere. Easy. I'll show you and your other poser boy how to do it.
6 Mythity.
Oh.
Bob has to travel for 500 miles and he's coming from Norwich, and Bill is travelling 125 miles from Scarborough. Bob leaves at 6:40am and Bill leaves at 10:34am. Where and when will Bob realise he's a dickhead and didn't put oil in his bike?
I don't know anybody called Bob, so I would say when he gets home about a week after the trip that he has just been on, because that's when I realised.
Nathan McCurlin, could you have the ride out in the middle of September, please?
Hoping to have it through third, maybe the end of September, as things go with the bike being away and having other things to do. It might just be a short ride from, say, like Carrickfergus to Isle of Magee or somewhere like that. Again, because I'm not expecting great numbers, so I'll keep you informed.
Daily Derps.
You can ask that,
Daily Derps. How many miles, well, kilometres or miles, was on your base when this happened?
35,500 miles on the XT at the time. Generally, from what I've heard on the forums and stuff, this is a problem that happens from that period onwards, so I would get it checked fairly sharpish. If you are running a high mileage XT, get it checked. It is probably worth doing now rather than later. So that's it. I answered all the handful of questions that I got. I can't really think of anything else. Hopefully this space in a week's time, or 4 days, or 3 days, or anywhere before Christmas, will have a bike in it that belongs to me. And as always, have fun, keep it safe, and don't forget to like and comment. See you later.
Incoming!